Corporation and the town being able to get along with developers. When I ran last year, two of the things that I had concerns about were just those items. The lack of ability for people in the town hall to get a comfort level with people that come into town, developers, citizens that have problems with code enforcement.
2 minutes.
Pardon?
2 minutes.
Well, time flies.
Go ahead.
Okay. We've made some changes. It's not where we need to be as far as the ability for our town staff to communicate with people that come in to talk to our departments. But it's changed dramatically in the last 3 months. I have had compliments from developers and from citizens over the last 3 months about what a change it has been. In my first 9 months, I never heard any compliments. It was always bad. I agree about the EDC. I did have a concern about the EDC, the way it was operating. I still have some concerns and will be continuing to work towards getting a better functionality between the town council and the EDC corporation. Thank you.
Well, let me just interject. Since there was an error in the beginning, that's why I'm saying go ahead and do it, because that really was an error, and this is Stephen's first time in trying to help us. So y'all we're not holding to the 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, my name is David Coleman, and I'm running for place 6. I've also had a lot of the same questions the other candidates have had, is, why are you running? What are you going to do? And who are you? For one, I'm a homeowner. I'm a citizen here in Little Elm, obviously. I'm a small business owner. I understand and feel the pains and things that go on in the community. I have 2 stepdaughters that are actually in junior high and high school, so really tied into that. One of the things that I do feel strongly about also is our economic development. We need to make sure we're taking and getting the right mixture of residents, light commercial, retail in our community. We do have the facilities in place along 380 and some of the other corridors to continue to do that. And also making sure the taxes stay in check. A lot of people are asking, why don't you do this? Well, I'm on 2 boards now, the TARS and LIRA. Those 2 boards, this is more or less a natural transition to move up into a council position as well. So, with that, haven't been in politics. I'm a salesperson, by trade, technical engineering person, and a lot of my success has been, how have you been successful? And I've always stood to 2 good principles. I always work if I'm working for God, not for man. That really helps. And the second one is, when I make a business decision, I always ask, does good business judgment prevail? At that point, it's either yes or it's no. So as I get as elected to council, what I will do is keep those same principles. We'll also look at the issues at hand, and I'll listen. That's one of the good things a good salesperson does, is he learns to listen. So you listen, you study the situation, you take action, and you stand by your principles. So, thank you.
I'm Linda Brantley, and you won't have any trouble finding me on the ballot. I'm the only girl. So, I have been a resident of Little Elm for the last 5 years, and I have been very active in the community and getting involved both locally and nationally. And one of the things that I have seen is that the people that sit on town council in Little Elm literally hold the livelihoods of all the residents of Little Elm in their hands. And the decisions that they make affect every single one of us. In the 5 years that I've lived in Little Elm, I have seen my taxes go up on my house drastically. The water and sewer has gone up drastically. Every time we turn around, everything is going higher and higher and higher, except for our salaries. Not that anything that happens in Little Elm is going to affect our salaries, but it's all a part of the bigger picture. We need leadership, and we need strong leadership. We need people that are going to listen to the people and do what the people want them to do. Not be tuned out because someone has a predisposed ideal of what we need here in our lives. So this is what prompted me to run for town council, is I want to be someone who can sit in that seat and do what everyone in this town would like to do. Now, some people aren't going to have great ideas, but it needs to be someone who's going to sit there after they have talked to the residents of this town and make decisions that are going to affect the people in Little Elm. So this is what made me decide to run. I've noticed from some of the bios, we have a lot of salespeople, we have pastors. I'm a nurse, so some of the things that I've been real concerned about are our emergency medical system that we have here. If we ever had a real bad emergency, I don't think that we're equipped for that, but I don't see anything really being done about that. So these are the issues that I want to bring to town hall and to address and see if we can make Little Elm a much better place. Since I work primarily in McKinney and Plano, I'm tired of people saying, Little Elm, where is that? And I'll say it's between Frisco and Denton, and they say, oh, okay. I want Little Elm to be on the map. I want people to know immediately when I say Little Elm, oh, yes, up there by Frisco. Right now, very few people do know where we're at. And so I also have a problem with every time I want to go and have entertainment, I have to go outside of Little Elm. I try to give business here in Little Elm the business, but there's not many choices that we have. So this all needs to be changed. My 2 minutes up.
I am so glad I didn't come prepared tonight. I just rewrote my opening speech 7 times in the last 14 minutes. Excellent points, folks. Excellent points. Yes, what he said, and she said, oh, the emergency system. You guys took all the thunder out of my little clap. My name is Dr. George Sparks, and I am so glad you showed up tonight. I don't know where you were Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. I waited. I checked my email. It was wrong. But I had a wonderful date night with my wife. Against her advice, she says, don't tell them you don't know how to pay attention to a schedule. But what she doesn't know is that I purposefully misscheduled it just so we could go out, and we tried to still prairie a place to eat. I don't have any signs. I've got a very small marketing budget. So, wow. That's Mr. Coleman's card. Yeah, that's so I'm going to write my name on the back of his. You know. Yeah, there's the photographer. All right. It's real simple. Of everything that was said, I agreed with everything. There's my little card. Just picture it as a billboard, and you're like 15 miles away. All right? You can't read it. I'll tell you what it says. Please vote. Even if it's not for me, just vote. It's that important. I'm not here tonight to ask for a single vote. I am here to ask you to vote and ask other people to vote. I agreed with what Bill did on the apartments. I'm a little upset that, he got so many emails from Frisco and only 20 people bothered to email him. I'm more concerned about 28,000 people in this town now. 26, 28, somewhere around there.
26,800.
How many?
26,800.
And how many registered voters? And how many people actually show up? Okay? We make up a pretty good percentage of this room. And you guys are representing the town. So, vote. Just vote. Find someone you like and vote for them. If you don't like any of them, in that case you can vote for me. Oh, sorry, that's my rule. But, I could echo everything they said. I don't have a platform. And everybody's asking me, Miss Lowry here called me, what's your platform? I'm sorry, that caught me so off guard. I'm like, My number's unlisted. How'd you get it? You know? No, if you're running for city council, everything you put on that application is now public records. Give me a call. Yeah, I didn't know who she was, and she's like, I just need to know your platform. And I'm like, wow, I don't have one. All right? I'm not a politician. That's why I'll tell you I missed a meeting, but at least I missed it early. I'm a businessman. I've got an MBA in management and a PhD in leadership. I was blessed with a tremendous amount of common sense. I spent 6 years as a police officer, and common sense meant more to me than it saved me. I want to just make sure the city, what they're doing, whether it's an apartment, whether it's a building, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's taxes, school, whatever. I just want to make sure it's the right choice. You can't manage what you can't measure. I want to make sure the management and the leadership is fiscally responsible. I want to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it's best for you. My mama told me, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Okay, use them proportionally. If I prefer an email, because I am losing my hearing a little bit. I'm kind of hard of hearing. But I want to listen, you know. It doesn't matter. I love what Bill said, you know. It doesn't matter what he thought was best, because what the people are. And I believe everybody up here feels that way. And so I really, boy, tough call on y'all. Tough call. Okay? This is a great group, and y'all are a great group, and I appreciate you showing up. That's it. Thank you.
Now we will start with the questions, and there are 9 questions here. So, Richard, if you will start and pick whichever card you want, give it to me and I'll read the question. And then each person will come behind and then for 1 minute, answer the question. Okay? What is your vision for Little Elm?
Wow. Now
I don't think that's a good question. It's a good question.
My vision for Little Elm is to have a place where it is, one, safe for our families. I have a Celebrate Recovery program here. I deal with kids every single week heavy into drugs. One of the things I'd like to change is that officer that we have that spends 15% of his time, one officer, 15% of his time on drug-related cases, I want a drug officer for Little Elm. I also want a victim's rights officer so that when we pick up a kid that's been molested by a parent, they have somebody that will be there on their side that is not a cop and not a medical personnel, but somebody that will find a place for them. I want a family-friendly town.
Hello once again. My overall vision for Little Elm is the same as Mrs. Stevens. Definitely safe and definitely progressive. However, I also want to see a town that sets a foundation for its people. And basically, some of those things that we can do are programs such as I would like to implement a program for foreclosure workshops to basically help save some of the families that are homeowners. They may be in the process of possibly losing their homes, but yet education is all they really need to save their home. So connecting with local banks and local loan modification officers will help do that. Also create situations to where that we can provide tutoring for athletes. Basically a tutoring program for them to create responsible athletes, more or less student athletes, which it should be. And overall, we need to definitely grow this town, and I want to see this town become something more than just Little Elm. And I definitely agree. When I speak to some people and they say, well, where's Little Elm? Is that South Oklahoma? No, it's not that far up. But definitely I want to see us to be more on the map and definitely more progressive internally to where that people will be attracted to our town itself. Thank you.
And maybe at the same time, if y'all just want to, this will be a comfortable thing. Just sit at your seat if y'all would like to and just answer the question. And just let's make this as casual and informative.
Sit.
Okay?
Stand here.
Yes, I can be heard. My vision for the town is one, like they said, it's safe. That's part of the reason I came. I have an 11-year-old boy, a 9-year-old boy, and a 6-year-old daughter. I've been in youth ministry 25 years and volunteer with the youth group at Buckman. I coordinated upward soccer there this year. We're hoping to reach more children who maybe can't afford to play in Lisa, want more playing time. I love the parks. I think we can do so much more with them. But I also want a town that does attract people. A town that makes people say, this is where I want to be. We've got